Welcome to this tutorial that explains how to create an interactive Excel dashboard for financial accounting. The Excel for Windows tutorial is split into 5 sections. This one is the first section. This interactive Excel dashboard for financial accounting uses the Jubilee Superstores dataset. Jubilee Superstores is a fictitious retail business that sells several products through physical stores, its websites, and catalogs. The dataset contains more than 1,000 sales transaction records for 2 years. Jubilee Superstores operates in 5 regions. Again, all data and names are fictitious. After completing this case, you will be able to 1. Clean the data in a data set by analyzing an Excel pivot table. 2. Create and format pivot tables and charts. 3. Apply various Excel functions including XLOOKUP, SUMIFS, and MAX. 4. Create slicers to filter pivot table data. 5. Create dynamic headings. 6. Build an interactive dashboard in Excel. 7. Analyze sales data using the dashboard. In this project, we are going to be building a dashboard that looks like the screenshot provided here. The dashboard will be interactive because the user will be able to select the division and the region to see the various levels of sales revenue associated with those selections. Now let's cover some Excel dashboard basics. A dashboard workbook in Excel typically has 3 components: 1 or more data worksheets, 1 or more calculations worksheets, and a dashboard worksheet. Analysis performed with the aid of an interactive dashboard is easier and quicker than scrolling through multiple views and lots of data. When working through this dashboard project in Excel, it is critical that you use the exact cell addresses for the formulas as illustrated in this tutorial. Likewise, use the exact names as illustrated in this tutorial for tables and other items. Case does matter, so replicate carefully. The numbers and answers in this tutorial will be different than yours, but the dashboard construction will be the same. There are a few long and complex formulas in this project. We will walk through those formula components. Selected formulas are included for you to copy and paste into the relevant cell to reduce the chance of typos. Again, make sure you are using the exact names and cell addresses as given in this tutorial so that those copied formulas will work. Before you start the project, be sure to update your version of Microsoft 365. For the project, Microsoft 365 Excel is required. For update instructions, search on the web for Excel 365 Update Windows. It's pretty quick to update, so take the time now to update. You need to use the Excel app installed on your computer for this project. Excel Online will not work for this project, nor will the Excel app on a phone, tablet, or other mobile device. This tutorial has been created using Excel for Windows. There is a separate set of tutorial videos for those who are using Excel for Mac. This project has been divided into 5 sections to keep it manageable. After each section, you will save your file. That file will be the starting point for the next section. You do need to do the sections in the order in which they are listed. In the first section of this project, we will be preparing Excel and getting the dataset ready for use. Once we complete this section, the file we save here will be used as a starting point for the next section. This section has 5 steps. We will be opening the Excel workbook file, creating a table, creating worksheets, cleaning the data, and adding the camera tool to your version of Excel. Essentially, we are preparing Excel and the data to begin building the interactive dashboard. Start by opening the Excel data file. You should be in Microsoft 365 Excel. This video has been created using Excel in Windows. As I stated earlier, there is a separate set of tutorial videos for those using Excel for Mac. We are going to put our data into a table, which will make it easier to address data in formulas for the dashboard. Place your cursor anywhere in the data. On the Insert tab, click on Table. The Create Table dialog box will appear. Click OK. Name your table Raw Data. Make sure that you use capital R, lowercase aw, capital D, lowercase ata. Now we are going to add a few worksheets for the calculations we will be making and for the dashboard itself. Click on the plus symbol at the bottom of your table to create a new worksheet. Right-click on Sheet 1. In the drop-down box, click on Rename. Then rename the sheet Calculation Division. Alternatively, you can double-click on the Sheet tab to rename it. Now create 2 more worksheets and name them Calculation Product and Dashboard. In real life, a data set typically contains several errors. Before any analysis can be performed, the data needs to be cleaned or fixed. The data set for this project intentionally contains a few errors. You will need to fix those errors before proceeding. Just like in real life, the analysis will not be correct if it is performed on data that has errors. To begin the cleaning process, return to the Transactions table. On the Table Design tab, click on Summarize with Pivot Table. The Create Pivot Table dialog box will appear. Click on Existing Worksheet. Next, click in the Location box. Then, navigate to cell B5 on the Calculation Division worksheet and click. Finally, hit Enter. You now have a pivot table which you can use to find the errors in the dataset. In the Pivot Table Fields section at the right of the screen, click on Division and drag it down to the Rows box. Notice the error. Office Supplies has been entered at least once in the data set as Office Supplies with no space. Return to your Transactions table. On the Home tab, click on Find and Select. In the drop-down box, click on Find. In the Find and Replace dialog box, type Office Supplies with no space for Find What and type Office Supplies with a space between the 2 words for Replace With. Then click on Replace All. Finally, close the dialog box. Return to the Calculation Division worksheet and click on your pivot table. On the Pivot Table Analyze tab, click on Refresh. You have now cleaned or fixed the data for this initial error you found. In the project data set that you work with, you will have a different error or errors. Repeat the Find and Replace steps to correct any other errors you found in that initial pivot table. To keep this project manageable, the errors in this particular data set can all be found with this one pivot table that focuses on the field division. Whenever you replace any of the data to correct it, remember that you have to go to the pivot table and right-click and hit Refresh to have that correction show up in your pivot table. Next, the camera tool in Excel can be used to take dynamic screenshots of charts and tables. Dynamic in this context means that the screenshots update as the slicer buttons are clicked. The camera tool is not available in Excel until you make it available. To do so, when on the toolbar, click the Customize Quick Access Toolbar icon. In the drop-down box, click on More Commands. The Customize Quick Access Toolbar dialog box will appear. Change Choose Commands from to All Commands. Then scroll down until you see the camera. Click on Add. Finally, click on OK. The camera tool will now appear in your toolbar. Remember that if you use a different computer for a later section of the project, you will need to add the camera tool to that computer's version of Excel. We are now done with section 1 of this project. Please save your Excel file. You will be using the file for the next section of this project. This video was created by Dr. Wendy Tietz. Have a great day.